Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Sentient Dessert. Welcome to my channel. Um, I'm gonna get straight into it. This is gonna be episode 12 of this. I'm rather enjoying this as well. Rise to Ruins is the game, if you're wondering what this is. So, we have three places to go to. One of them is in great shape. They've almost destroyed the corruption. Another one, the exact opposite. Everything is gone to hell. And Clearland, day 7, and almost gotten rid of the corruption here. So we're entering Clearland. Once the corruption is gone, I'm going to see if it spawns at a different spot in the map, because that could have been a mechanic that the programmer added. Programmers, I don't know. I keep seeing that one person did this, and other times I'm seeing that a small group has done it, so I don't know the full story. Skeletons can't catch on fire. That's because you're not burning the fire hot enough. Alright, let us see where we are going, because we had a day off, sort of, from everything going on. Golems are actively going after the various buildings that are up. Expanding, we need Phantom Bolt Tower. Can't do that yet. Fences might need a little shoring up. What are the upgrades that we were going to do? Potatoes. Potatoes. How many golems do we have active? 13. Oh, and we bonus to production capacity. 5 of 6. No, we got one, but it's like 6 seems max for golems. That's not right. Maximum golems 3. Maximum golems 3. Maximum golems 5. Uh, huh. Thought we got a bonus to... Yeah, excuse me a moment. I've got to check that. Thought we had +2 bonus to the stone golems after the last session. Nope. Level. Okay. That's where I was. Everything's fine. As fine as it can be. Apologies for that little hiccup. Full. Destroy those. Another piece of wood, and we can build our last little monument. Golems, go ruin their day. That would keep it out of range of the fire pit. gather from the mines pool. Enough to come out and tower. It'd be nice when I get cost slash maintenance of goes down. Can't hit it, can you? It might get destroyed, it might not. Tower. Rather potatoes. Oh, nice. The golems took it out. Way to go, my boy. Big part of me that wants to another wall here. Not going to. 5 golem. Life, and that will prevent that spread. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. That one. Now what I could potentially do at this point, create a separate path through the mountain here, up, block this area off, put a ballista tower here, so start taking it out. Don't think I'm going to do that. That's an idea. That's if my golems don't overwhelm them soon. Why we are building a second set. While we are thinking about it, we are going to set up the defenses better. on. Once those finish, well then our dart tower, lightning. Seven, 8, we'll have 24 total golems from this. That means 42 golems that are going to be complex math. My brain just goes, yeah, we'll do it like this. Simple math. What? I might start using the Phantom Dart Towers just as for low resource investment. I have not made a kitchen yet. Focus solely on 40 people. Plus those people farmers. Will. Holly, we will. Requires rock tumbler. Of course it does. Of course it does. Why would it? Quickly. Purple where they don't put anymore. Lightning. Poison. No poison works. Faster. Isn't Dungeon Keeper, I can't slap you to make you work faster. You ever get something, food or drink wise, that you're like, this sounds good, I'd like to try this. Then you try it, and it's mediocre at best. I picked up some of the, is agua fresca, cucumber lime drink. I thought it was gonna be better. Thought it was gonna be better. There. But they're gonna run up there anyway, cause... Why can I... Oh. I see. I didn't go far enough north. Try the harvest. Better. So when you're using the harvest spell, make sure that you get it over a large portion of what you're trying to... Dead. Ah, dang it. Harvest? Potatoes. Can't seem to track a food very well. I'm gonna see it. Change to 12. Not much. Not as useful. Fires. At least he's attacking the right type of build. Not an active one, but still the right building to attack. More building spot. Got a bit more. Actually, around my friends. That is not very. Nomads. Welcome, nomads. Try not to get killed on your way here. Off the things that are constantly spawning. Of, you know, gonna take out the thing that's needing to be taken. Guys, and another one spawns in the exact same spot, right? Go. Tower. One more. There we go. Now you can just have fun. Population tower. Is you right? "51 clicks, that's one. Go. Working. Second water fire going up. Food and water. Farms. Where's my third? Counting this? Counting that. That. We'll farm there. I'm actually surprised that this tower has lasted this. Every time it kills one, another one spawns. Like almost immediately in the same vicinity. Like there's a minimum number that has to be on the screen at all time. Lovely, lovely. Oh, upgrade this collector. Upgrade a lot of these buildings. That tower. Bye-bye. Unless the cavalry comes in. Decimate. Wow. They're repairing it. Nope. Want it to go. Midday. The top. Still going. Oh. Logging. Don't know how far this is spread over here. Built, we can start. How far? Didn't spread down here, so I don't think that. Oh, there. That's pushing back up. Good. Just seem restless. And be restless by so fast and so hard. Head spin. Well, some of them don't have it. "42 golems. We're at capacity for golems. I might just try to start the next one with out the wazoo. Build 4 combobulators immediately. That should take care of my city. That'll only work if done and the material initially. Shit's back, Quentin. I mean, they'll have one. Thank you, Lightning. In some previous instances, would push back the corruption, or there was no corruption at all. Could like build your defenses, have the maze set up. They'd wander through. Fire elementals, I believe at one point, did not shoot fire. They were just a really strong thing that if they meleeed your guys, they'd catch on fire, and basically if any of your pawns came in contact with a fire elemental, it was dead. Thing that I'm not really happy about is in the past when you've had a villager that wasn't like set on fire, picking them up and dropping them into deep water would quench the flames, but I've done that a couple times during this series and they've still died. So no longer an effective means of dealing with fire elemental. Daytime. Let us our mining. Probably still pocket in. Park one of these things. Don't even need to go. Getting a lot of nomads this game. Every day we've gotten nomads for the past couple days. Which is good considering this is going to be shipping people out to other parts of the world. By parts. I am error. Okay. Good name. Summer, this is the first day of dealing with water concerns and heat. This section, you can see the dirt beneath the water because it doesn't have connection to a larger body. Therefore, not going to contain a lot of water. Also been buckets out to find. Does that look like a snail to you? To me it just looks kind of like a snail with two mouths. Hey, lightning! Glad these things can't fire over. No? Valuable information to have. Corruption under the mountain. Pain. Now, when you realize that you have an accent, it's one of those things that you will start noticing about yourself. Certain words will be pronounced very differently than people elsewhere. And it's not just, you know, slipping into another accent for a little bit and just talking like that for a little bit. It's the way you normally speak. So you don't ever typically consider yourself having an accent, but everybody has an accent, and you can tell more or less where they come from, or if they have affected an accent, you can kind of tell where they've been, where they were when they picked up the accent, or who they, what area of the people that they were around, the accent that they were using. Because although, you know, this might be an Irish accent, it's not necessarily distinctive of all people from Ireland. Or anybody with the accent, that is. It's interesting. Low on crystals or lithium. That would be why we're low on crystals. Purpose. We have another spot with by. Kind of. Crystals are that resource that when you harvest them, they spread. At least what I've noticed. If a crystal sits on the ground, it seems like it sprouts there. One walked in and started attacking. That's what we like to see. More golems go up there. One. One tower down. Why isn't this attacking? Oh, they actually have to load it. Not realize that. Good, we've got 4. That's not good. Harvest everything. Or everything. Okay. Like, where are they taking the potatoes? Look oddly like turnips. Hmm. Dusk has arrived and the monsters seem restless. Monsters won't be around. Stop chasing. Hey, finished. This will be the last bit of corruption on the map. Hopefully. But we shall exit when time comes. And when this gets removed, if there is something there, it will start, like, producing monsters through the rock. Because the game's done that in the past. I really wish there were a mass grab. This. Want to pick everything up. dogs are gophers. Still confused as to the role of dogs in this time. Like, they actually start functioning well, and like very, very confusing. 100 food. 49 people. Should be good for a little bit. Not we're housing capacity. Upgrade the houses. Make sure people have a place to sleep. To motivate land. Don't let them have wood. Wood. Plum list 42. Over the wood. Logic behind that is to get rid of this section of it will stop growing. I have to try to get down here to get this, and they'll more often than not run into my golems. This location is close enough to hit that poison dart tower, but not be hit by the other arrow tower. Also, the golem should come up and defend it a little bit more readily. That there for now. Then that happy stuff. Rocks. Keep all the rocks. That was faster than I expected. in the exact same spot. Firing. They've got fire elementals now. Adding the horde that pops out when the graveyard slows things down. It doesn't really make for a more difficult game. It's just speed bump. Annoyed when they first added it in because it's like, hey, my old strategies don't work anymore, so I have to make new ones. Don't run away. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I am going to have to do Palace to Tower. Oh. Faith and cut through the rock. Up. Alright. It might seem a little overkill, but it's just to keep a constant flow of spawning enemies. They come down here to try to get around to it. They will get caught by these towers. Upgraded momentarily, but I'm bug house. That. Walls are being built. Tower's almost destroyed. Jean Grey joins us. Name she won't have any psychic power. Tower go boom. The fact that you cannot store key, it bugs me. Like, keys are video game logic. So one idea I was having for another stream was to attempt to play Far Cry, or record it and edit it and play Far Cry, the 5th installment, with a lot of the turmoil that's been going on, a lot of the political crap that's been blogging up everything. Thought it would be an appropriate title to play. Ubisoft. And I absolutely loathe Ubisoft's attempts at maintaining control over all their products. So, anything that requires Uplay, run, rubs me the wrong way. Especially if you buy it on a different platform, like Steam, or... I'm not sure if there are any Ubisoft games on Good Old Games. But yeah, you don't need multiple things that are sucking down your processor to play the game. It's overkill on DRM, and it's honestly one of the reasons a lot of people go out and get a crack or a pirated copy is because they don't want to deal with. I mean, look back at Spore. EA Games tried to put some they did put some extremely draconian uh, DRM on Spore, and yeah, that was one of the most highly pirated games when it came out, and it was the people that purchased the game legitimately that were seeking out the cracks and the pirated versions because the game was nigh unplayable when it came out. So, for me, I just don't like having multiple processes going that don't need to be running. And if you kill Uplay while you are in the game, it kicks you out. Because of course it does. So, I'd really like to get through Far Cry 5. But, yeah, Ubisoft just, they really don't like their users. There are a lot of really fun games that I'd like to play, but because Ubisoft's got their head in their posterior, key. Use the key. No, that's a feeling that I've had for a long time. I mean, um, going back to some of the early games that I played, I mean, there was even one there was a Nintendo game that I remember playing. Um, if you're familiar with the old NES systems, there was one game that was kind of fun. It was sort of a Star Tropics was the game, very similar to one mode of Blaster Master, and very similar to Legend of Zelda in gameplay. Um, it had the wonderful um, instance where if you did not have the rule book, you were basically going to be spending your time entering all 10,000 combinations of a 4-digit number. So, yeah, it was kind of it was annoying if you didn't have the rulebook, and if you bought the game used or if you lost the rulebook, you were kind of SOL. So the DRM that I remember growing up was, like if you ever played the King's Quest games, I got a copy of King's Quest, bought it at the store. It had just the discs inside and a little tiny pamphlet. But when you loaded the game and tried to play it, it pops up with the please type in the fifth letter on the on the sixth page of the manual, and it you couldn't play the game without that, and like a legitimate copy of it did not come with the things that were supposed to prevent people from going out and getting non-legal copies. So it's just at which trying to protect your product goes too far, you're actually hurting your customer. I feel that, all these different companies having their own specific platforms. Um, you got EA, I think. Yeah, EA's got one. Blizzard has one. Um, Ubisoft. who's the one that does Origin? Um, but yeah, there is absolutely no need. There's absolutely no need to have these multiple layers of DRM when they've obviously purchased it through something like Steam. So it just, it's a pet peeve, and something that's really pissed me off about the gaming industry for a long time. They don't respect their customers. We're talking about EA. They don't respect their employees either. But that's an entirely different can of worms. Okay, let us get this tower built. One reason that I did enjoy consoles a lot better, at least before they started demanding that you have to be online in order to play a game that you just bought, we're sorry, you need to go and download this patch before the game can be playable because we didn't release a complete game. What I liked consoles is complete game came in the package. And it would be playtested, it would be, for the most part, a working game. Exceptions, but yeah. You could play the game straight out of the package, you didn't need to spend 8 hours downloading patches. Don't get me wrong, something like Steam, GOG, they all have that they're filling a niche market that needed to be dealt with. I mean, Steam is now no longer a niche market; it is a market unto itself. Good Old Games, I think, has one up on them because Steam is itself DRM, which is why you don't need to have a third-party thing come in and say, "Hey, you got to load this if you want to play the game." Just it's not worth the headache, and it's not worth, you know, whatever additional programs or subroutines are going on in said program. The only person that needs to know what's going on my computer is me. Same with your computer. The only person that should care about what's going on your computer is you. It's just... What is the phrase that, bad business? You don't treat your customers like criminals. I mean, there was a comic book shop in town that, every time I would go in there, I would browse, and if I had money with me, I would buy something. But you know, it's a comic book shop. You go in to see what's new every time, and not just with me, but with like everybody that was just in there browsing. The owner was sitting behind the counter and just like staring everyone down, as if everybody there were stealing from him. And before he sold off the business, it was clientele was like almost non-existent. He kicked out various clubs because he thought that the clubs that were coming there to game, uh, to watch sci-fi, to watch, to basically use the space, pay rent the space, use the space. Um, he kicked them out because he thought that their members were stealing from him. And it's like, at some point, it becomes extremely paranoid, and I'm kind of glad that he got out of the business because treat your customers like criminals, you're not going to have customers much longer. And that's pretty much what the video game industry has been doing for a long time. I remember watching a video about a RoboCop game, I think it was, that you literally had to insert a physical pre-USB. You had to insert a what is referred to as a dongle into one of the ports on the back of the computer in order for the game to run. If your computer didn't have that port, couldn't play the game. You needed that port to actually, use a different device. Yeah, it that was something that has been considered by a lot of people to be the height of how stupid are you running games, and the types of the lengths that these companies go to try to. I'm not against people protecting their games, their content. It's just you don't hurt the people that are actually buying the game. I think that's my entire point. This entire conversation has been, you don't hurt the people that are actually buying the game. You let them play the game. I mean, Bethesda, for all of its flaws, Bethesda at least has one thing up on a lot of other companies, and that is they let people play the game how they enjoy it. Why else could you mod all the enemies in Skyrim to look like Thomas the Tank Engine? I mean, you don't run a grocery store and just say, people who like fruits and vegetables, you have to go through this line only, and then have a pat down, have a, dare I say it, strip search just because they want to get fruits and vegetables. I don't even think those things are related. That was just like a mental image that popped into my head and was like, what the F? Like this game. This game I got, I don't know where I got it. I mean, it could have been an early Humble Bundle thing, but I think that I actually picked it up when it was like $3 for early access. Just because it looked like something that I'd enjoy. And the only DRM that I'm seeing is it has to be launched through Steam. Or a Kingdom, the game that it's a free-to-play game, but you can get the actual downloader and install it on your machine without having to go through Steam. That's the kind of thing that people need. And, if your game has been out for more than 4 or 5 years, I mean, especially if you're a company that's like, oh, we're going to be doing DLC with it, you make sure that the core game can be run without the draconian measures put in place. And good old games, they're wonderful. They spawned from From what I recall, they spawned from the abandonware sector. Abandonware, for those that may not know, um, games that have not been updated in, I think it's 15 years? 10 or 15 years. And there's been like no updates for it, there's been no new content from the actual creators, or the company that released the game. Then it falls into abandonware, and it's no longer seen as piracy to get a hold of it and play it without purchasing it. It's considered an abandoned project, it's considered an abandoned game. And it's one reason why Blizzard has released multiple versions of Warcraft 3, StarCraft, and all their other games. They come out with just like, there's been a slight tweak to it. It's so that they can maintain the hold on that property. Not because they want to improve the game for people. Anybody that got the recent Warcraft 3 redo, yeah, that was just, that was despicable of them to, you know, kind of give the players a bait and switch, and then not even offer the ability to get a refund. That's the last I heard. They could have changed their stance on that, but it's Activision Blizzard. They never admit when they're wrong. As long as I have known the company, they have never admitted that they were wrong. So, I completely forgot where I was going with that. No, the abandonwares. Yeah. So, it's a wonderful resource for people that just want to play old games that have been more or less forgotten. That's actually how I first came across, what is it? One of the Dune strategy games. The one that is the precursor to the Warcraft games. The one that basically inspired the Warcraft games. That was a fun little top-down real-time strategy, and based in the Dune universe. But yeah, I found it through an abandonware site. Now, Good Old Games spawned from that, and they started taking a lot of the older games that were abandoned or that can't run very well on new systems, and they would find a means of packaging everything together so that you could play the game, and the creators could still get some money from the content that is there. Settlers games, if you ever played those games, they were kind of fun. I think Good Old Games needs to revisit those and update, as yeah, those games don't function very well through Good Old Games. It uses DOSBox, but there's something that is not functioning properly between the game itself and the DOSBox and native Windows system. And I've gone on the forums and looked for what, meteor shower. I've gone on forums and looked for like solutions to the problems, and outside of installing like 2 or 3 other programs to help deal with this one specific problem for this one specific game, there's no workaround, so it's not worth the effort. Just to play one game, you've got to install like 5 other programs, and it defeats the purpose of going and getting the game so you can play it again without the DRM. So, Good Old Games also has no DRM on any of their games, at least as of the last time I visited their site. That was one of the big draws, is you can get the game and you can play it, and you can just like load it up. Now they do have their own launcher, which does not need to be active in order to play some of the games. So you can just like install the game, create a shortcut, bypass the launcher, and play the game. And that's fully within the terms of working with them. I like good old games. I prefer them to Steam. I like when they have a crossover with Steam so I can get some of my games over there, and vice versa. And no, I'm just talking opinion. I am not paid by anybody to say this. I mean, I wish. Nice to be able to talk about things that you actually support and believe in. Yeah, I thought there was a Phantom Dart Tower up there. Like we might have to build a couple more ballistite up here. Go for a quadrant. Quatra. 4 of them, we'll put it that way. But yeah, if you want to check out new venues for getting games, my usual channel is Good Old Games or checking out Humble Bundle. A lot of the games that I've got that have been on like Origin or Uplay tend to come from Humble Bundle, but it's given as like a Steam key. So Origin is less deceptive. They say that you have to have the... Who the hell even runs Origin? I forget. But they give you the key and you have to use it on their platform. Less deceptive than Ubisoft, which is like, yeah, you can buy the game on Steam, but hey, you're still gonna be our bitch. This video's turned into a small rant, so apologies, but at the same time, not really that sorry, because it's my stream. My feelings about problems within the gaming industry. Gaming stream, so everything kind of fits together. Much rather... I don't know a single person that would rather have a game that they purchase for like their PlayStation 4 and they have to, you know, update the operating system on their PlayStation just to play one game, or, you know, spend... You don't... I don't know many people that appreciate the fact that they have to get home, toss the disc in, and then update the game through the system after they install it, or after they get there. They have to install it and then they have to update it in order to play the game. Which, it's not why you get a console, it's why you get a computer. I don't know about the Switch. I have not had much experience with the last few Nintendo platforms, but when it comes to console gaming, you don't get a console to download games. You get a console because you want to sit down, pop the game in, and just play. Hopefully not crash. Getting back to the topic of DRM, yeah, I understand the need for it. They want to protect their property, and, you know, I'm all for that. They go too far. I mean, I don't remember the exact name of a recent... There's a company that has been producing, like, DRM for various companies. And I think they did some of the stuff on the new Tomb Raider and a few other games. But the DRM that was on it, it was like you open up the process tree and the DRM was literally like 3 or 4 times as much memory usage as the game itself. And that is just, again, you don't take out your paranoia on the customers. And it doesn't matter how good of a DRM you put on there, somebody's going to crack it. If you have it set up as, you know, like, the reason that I won't play StarCraft or Diablo 3, or StarCraft 2 or Diablo 3, constant internet connection needed. I don't really like the constant connection to the internet for some gameplay. Like, tracking achievements through different platforms, no, I don't really enjoy that. Half the time, the achievements aren't even something that should count as an achievement. You installed the game. Congratulations. But, you know, for a game that you can play offline, there should be no need to have an online connection. I mean, to verify it at the beginning, that I'm okay with that. Connect, verify after you install it. Then after that, no need to connect to the internet unless you want to play in online arenas or online games or what have you. I think a lot of these companies have just forgotten that, you know, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and they are convinced that no matter what kind of crap they decide to serve up, people are going to take it willingly. But, you know, if you look on release days and you see the games that have the very heavy DRM, there are a lot of the people that purchase the game legitimately looking for a way to get rid of it because it ruins the game. It can't. I mean, if the DRM itself is taking up more processing speed, more RAM, than you know that the needed specs of the game itself, then there's a big problem there. There's a huge problem. Yeah, even with the connecting to the server to verify, you can spoof a server. I mean, there's always going to be a way to get around any form of DRM. Just a matter of time, usually. And, you know, the companies that, I mean, there are game companies that there are games that people that I know love the series but will refuse to even buy it brand new when it comes out because it will be unplayable based upon all the additional specs. And let's not forget that they will release a game that's incomplete. And then they will try to sell you DLCs that are the actual like patches that are needed to make the game function. But that's an entirely different barrel of worms. I think everything just boils down to gaming companies need to treat their customers better. That's why I didn't build it. Right, let's come and get this up to capacity. But thank you for listening to my little rant. I love video games. I just don't necessarily like the big companies that think that they know what's best for the community. So, upcoming projects, like I said, I may do the Far Cry 5, but that would probably be an offline and wouldn't be going through Twitch, it would probably just go straight to YouTube. The other one is I'm at about 75% through level 99 on Aura Kingdom, and I'm going to be starting doing the I'm going to start doing the recording for that to basically do a walkthrough of the Awakening quests, so that you can, you know, become level 100, which when the game first came out, I think that was a big deal. As I said, I can't find any information regarding the Awakening quest on my searches, so either Google's filtering stuff from me, or I'm just bad at the internet. But yeah, I'm going to make the video a basic walkthrough, try to be as plain and simple and to the point. It might be multiple videos, we'll see. Some of the people that have gone through it have said that it takes a while, but I think that it's just... From what I can gather from the game, it's not a matter of it takes a lot of time to do, it's that certain things are only available on certain days, and you might have to wait for those days, or, you know, you might have to obtain an item that you can't with your current fishing gear, for instance. I've been attempting to level my fishing in that game, and to get new gear, you have to catch harder and harder fish, and the way that the gear upgrades does not overlap. So you have to go from like 1.1 gear to 1.4 gear to 1.7 gear to get to 2, which is literally the next tier up. So, if that doesn't make sense, there are... When I get there, when I start making the video, it'll make more sense. Easiest way to say is that I keep muting the mic so you don't hear me coughing or clearing my throat, because nobody wants to hear that. Well, Shirley Jackson. Shirley Jackson, wonderful author. Famous for The Lottery and The Haunting on Hill House. Haunting of Hill House. But, no. The fishing gear, looking at... None of the websites that are like wikis for the game are... None of them are good. None of them display that they needed information. I've had to go through 3 different websites to actually like find out different information on different categories. And one of them seems to have been like abandoned. No updates on content since like 2018. I mean, might find a page here or there. But the fishing gear, the tier that I'm at, it's like 1500 strength on the fishing pole. The next tier up is 1850, I believe, but the one that I'm actually able to upgrade my gear to is 2100. So it's a matter of finding out how to get that 1850 so that I can actually catch the fish to get the 2100, which it's just a huge, you have to like farm multiple sets of gear, and it's a very redundant system because you cannot catch certain. Why have you not finished? You cannot catch certain fish without the stronger gear, and the items that you get from those fish is what's needed to craft that extra gear. And nothing within the fishing in that game is tradable. So it's all, you have to do it yourself. So the Awakening quest, it might have something to do with that. It might have something to do with the cards. Thankfully, I've been kind of up to date on the cards. Could do with archaeology, where the things that you can find change every day. So I will find out when I get there. I'm flying blind, as it were, because I can't find any information or anything useful. So I'm going to try to make something useful for people that are just coming into the game, like me. So this stream is going to be coming to an end shortly. We are nearing the end of this session. Making these multiple towers was, yeah. Oh wow, we got a lot of people. I haven't been paying attention to our people, and so I will be getting to that shortly. More nomads. Everything there. Up to 14 farmers. More. Add 3 to the organizers. Or bowyers. Fletchers. Definitely there because we're put there, a couple there, just to make sure things are taken care of. At least 2 people per building. Now can we can build it now. So with the 4 towers up here, everything here is going to just get decimated shortly. The next session, all this is going to go away. All gone, and then I check under here and under here to see if there's any lingering corruption. But this has been a good stream, I think. If I did kind of wax philosophical for a while. But we'll all have our opinions and our when it comes to stuff like this, and my voice just does not. 1 second again. But we will all have our opinions regarding games, game companies. I mean, there's been infighting in the gaming fandom for decades. Atari versus Nintendo, then Nintendo versus Sega, then Sega versus Nintendo versus Atari again, and then Atari drops out, and then you've got Sega versus Sony versus Nintendo. And then Microsoft decided to butt their ugly little head in and ruin a lot of gaming for a while. And by ruin, I mean they would not listen to criticisms about their console or their games. And it took like 2 generations later in systems for them to actually like listen to criticisms. While at the same time wondering, well, why isn't this doing good? Anyways, so we're nearing dusk. We're about to stop this for a moment. Should have a few more objectives completed and a few more opening up. We will take a look at that, open a chest or two. Hopefully we have enough to open more than one chest. I think where we're at, we can actually start processing on courier station, marketplace, and migration way station. Maybe for some gits and shiggles, we'll make the maintenance Waymaker Shack. Part of me would really love Motivate Land to create more rock. I think when I start this tomorrow, I'm going to make another 6 or so bobulators, just so that I can better at hacking and wiping out. So, we've entered dusk. It is peaceful. Not going to be an attack from the enemies tonight. We will leave it here, so let's see what goodies we get today. Migrate to 2 new regions. That we can do. Global population of 340. We're almost there. Can't do you. We reset. 25 villagers to another region. That yet. Can't do anything in Greenham. Stop giving me stuff for Greenham. Resurrect 3 ghosts. Nope. Nope. 40 children build 40 children built anywhere, yes. So we are just going to open up a 2,000 chest. See what we get. Static tower energy cost. I don't think I use static towers. I will look into what static towers are tomorrow. But that was it. That was today's session. I have been Sentient Dessert. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you've seen, feel free to subscribe, like, the usual things. If not, I'm not going to hold it against you. Just have fun out there. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Have a good solar cycle. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. It's downright scary out there right now. Not gonna lie. So you have the capacity for compassion for others. You have the capacity for compassion for yourself. Treat yourself well, treat others well, and have a good night.